Tell, teach, involve, and learn. How cognitive, affective, and behavioral competences inform each other. Both students and institutions bear equal responsibility for the quality of teaching and learning. Students must make the necessary efforts to develop their knowledge and skills, and institutions must create appropriate environments and formats to facilitate student learning. Student engagement is seen as a key influence on performance and learning in higher education and student success. The term student engagement was coined in the context of student learning and is based on three elementary currents. Firstly, the idea of quality of effort, PACE, and the 7 principles of good practice. The second is based on the involvement principle of Aston. And, as the third pillar, the work of Ku et al. On student involvement has laid the foundation for active student integration into academic and social life at universities. Despite numerous names and different approaches, all of these concepts, be it involvement, commitment, or integration, have one common denominator, namely the premise that students learn best and most effectively through active involvement in teaching and learning. Some define student involvement primarily in terms of the time and energy that students devote to their learning success. Others look at it differently, seeing it in such a way that personal commitment and critical participation in educationally relevant activities are the key to learning success. For this reason, a didactic concept from the integrated course Intercultural Communication of the University of Applied Sciences Upper Austria is presented here. It demands precisely this kind of critical engagement and thus has the potential to increase the quality of learning, subject-related interaction, the use of resources, and above all, the student's competence for self-reflection. In the teaching learning setting presented, student engagement is strived for and realized through competence enhancement on 3 levels, namely the cognitive, the affective, and the behavioral dimension. The integrated course takes place at the Hagenberg campus and aims to strengthen students in their global awareness and seeks to develop their intercultural competencies so that they can unfold their full potential in international negotiation settings in a situational, contextual, and efficient way. In order to be able to implement this, a 3-stage teaching learning format is chosen. First, cognitive learning goals are set in the area of knowledge and understanding. Students are confronted with intercultural theory and models. They are given extensive knowledge about the current stage of research, and they are encouraged to link this with cross-references and their previous knowledge bases. Essential here is the acquisition of knowledge about how culturally socialized patterns influence human behavior and actions. Students will then be trained in the affective dimension, so to say, they gain an increased awareness of social diversity and its consequences by means of case studies and critical incidents. Here, the focus is primarily on entrenched attitudes, value catalogs, perceptual perspectives, predictive models that are deeply rooted in one's own societal culture and which come to the fore and can be questioned in role plays. In doing so, students should be made aware of the importance of ambiguity tolerance and frustration tolerance. The ability to endure confusing and complex intercultural settings without becoming anxious or depressed, without judging the situation hastily or jumping to preconceived conclusions is foregrounded here. The ability to reflect, respect, accept, and appreciate is further developed towards people from other cultures and backgrounds. The aim is to counteract prejudices, insecurities, implicit biases, and fears, and to reduce them by means of reflective loops. However, it is also necessary to endure and experience a number of intercultural situations and to learn from other perspectives and other communicative patterns. Ultimately, it is also necessary to translate these competences into appropriate behavioral patterns. In other words, to transfer the understanding of self-cultural contexts of action, which are strongly influenced by one's own culture, into daily interactions. These behavior-related competences relate to three components. Firstly, the ability to communicate appropriately, verbally and non-verbally in intercultural settings. Then social competence, the ability to build trustworthy relationships and demonstrate transversal skills and trust with foreign cultural interaction partners. Finally, the willingness to actively approach persons from other cultural backgrounds and to adapt one's communication and negotiation patterns accordingly. In a concluding role play, which involved the entire cohort, the cognitive skills are tested, shifted, and adapted. The affective skills are made tangible, and the behavioral skills are tried out as well as adapted in the context of intercultural negotiation. The aim is to draw on appropriate conflict resolution skills and to make situational and contextual communication patterns perceptible. The three-component model with the aim of broadly diversified competence development allows complex constructs such as diversity competence and awareness of global interrelationships to be dealt with, and that in a structured way. By means of multimedia teaching content, even preconceived ideas and unconscious stereotypes can be questioned and deconstructed. A video about this can be found on YouTube under the name of Unconscious Bias.